Yo, what's up, guys? Figured I would share my screen. We can find some bets, which will be pretty fun. Kind of interesting after the Joe Burrow injury news, potential calf injury news came out. You'll see sportsbooks were kind of interesting. Like the market hasn't even reacted on some sportsbooks. The Bengals, were minus 135 favorites. Joe Burrow gets supposedly injured. Markets have barely even moved. You can see FanDuel moved initially. They moved the lines a little bit towards the Browns, but they basically already come back. So it doesn't seem like the market, at least sports books, what bettors think, right? If everyone came in and hammered the Bengals line, the Browns line, lines would have moved. Lines really haven't moved. But anyways, regardless, let's start looking at some picks on a few different sites. So again, I say this in every video, but depending on the sports books you use, maybe this video is more or less helpful to you. Every sports book is legal in different locations, right? So I think OddsJam has, we'll see, 205 sports books. Some of these books may be in your location, some may not be. But as a sharp bettor, you want to have as many sportsbook accounts as possible. Like, you never know where the value is going to be on a given day. If you think about what is a good bet is essentially just a spot where a sportsbook is screwing up, right? When you're a sports bettor, you're trying to beat the sportsbook. You're trying to find plays with an edge. And that's only going to happen, obviously, if the sportsbook is screwing up. So you're kind of like day trading sportsbook. So if you take a look here, this play looks pretty good. On Superbook, Superbook is in New Jersey, Colorado, Virginia, maybe some other states. But you're going to see every other sportsbook, right, has this under at minus 110. Basically, I mean, Betfred has minus 105. Every book, the under is favored, right, on most sports books, right? Like you can see, DraftKings has the under favored, SBK has the under favored, Betway has the under favored, Bookmaker, which is known to be a pretty sharp, a pretty smart sports book, they have the under favored, Bovada. So long story short, Pinnacle, sharpest bookmaker out there, they have the under favored, and Superbook is giving you plus 105, right? So clearly some value. But anyways, let's start out on Underdog Fantasy. Maybe we can see if we can find anything. And then we can go to, there's a bunch of different platforms. We've also added some new platforms to OddsJam. One of them is SportsBattle. So this is a new sports book recently added to OddsJam. I think it's only available on your phone, but regardless, like this is a good, app to sign up for if you don't already use it. So I can pull it up right here. It basically works exactly like, PrizePicks, Underdog Fantasy. You want to take these 5-man uninsured options, and you just want to find good picks with an edge, right? So if you take a look right here, here's a CSGO play that I would go with on SportsBattle. Again, I'm not sure if I can get it on my computer. I don't think I can. I can actually take a look right here. Can I log in from the computer? SportsBattle. We can see if I can log in from the computer. That would make this a lot easier, but it doesn't look like I can. So anyways, let's go back here. Let me share my screen. So we'll go through a few slips. We won't look at SportsBattle just because it was just added to OddsJam. I assume not a lot of people have it, but they give you a $100 sign-up bonus when you first register. I've explained before, like most of these sports books, when you first sign up, they give you an incentive to sign up, right? SportsBattle is a platform that works in a very similar way to PrizePicks, Underdog Fantasy. It's optimal to go with these 5-man non-insured, no insurance entries. And the more books you have, the better, right? Like all these platforms work in relatively similar ways. So they all got to compete for new customers by, giving out these lucrative bonuses when you first sign up. And again, like the reason you want to have all these sports books is you never know where the value is going to be on a given day. So this is an incredible play on SportsBattle, right? They have this player in CSGO, Rez. His line is set at 37.5 on SportsBattle. And you may be like, okay, who cares? I don't know anything about CSGO. This isn't about CSGO. This is about data, right? If you look at, his line on, so let's go to esports. If you look at his line on Underdog Fantasy, it's a lot lower at 34.5. SportsBattle has his line at 37.5. I've said this before, but you don't get, you don't see discrepancies this big in like the NBA, player points plus rebounds plus assists, right? You will never see AD's PRA line at 37.5 on one book and then 34.5 or 34 on all these other books. But essentially, you use all these sports books as data points, right? So ParlayPlay has this guy's line at 34.5. PrizePicks has his line. Let's take a look at PrizePicks. Where does PrizePicks have this guy? PrizePicks has his line at 34, so even lower than ParlayPlay and Underdog Fantasy. So all of these books are data points telling us, hey, Rez's line is way too high at 37.5. There's value on the under, right? We're day trading the sports books because they all set lines independently. We're able to find these inefficiencies in the market, spots where sports books are, essentially screwing up. So we got a pretty good play. We got some good plays we can get going if we want to. So this seems solid, right? So take a look at this play, right? You take a look at this player, Minji, Underdog Fantasy, which is one of my most successful books. They have his line, this player's line, Minji, they have his line at 3.5. So unfortunately, you can't pair players from the same team in Underdog Fantasy. So I'm not going to be able to bet both of these. But regardless, Minji under 3.5 is the play we're going to go with on Underdog. And it's pretty simple. PrizePicks has the line at 3. ParlayPlay has the line at 3. I mean, literally, the way that odds jam works is pretty simple. All it's doing is reading in, tens of thousands of lines, all this crap from each sports book and pointing out discrepancies, pointing out value in the market. So then if we look at this other player, Betty, let's pull up our girl Betty. This is actually really good, right? So this works out pretty well, right? So we want to take Minji under. PrizePicks and the other books have the line at 3.5. And then we want to take Betty over 3.5. PrizePicks, ParlayPlay have the line at 4, right? We found an inefficiency in the market. And then we can also just add in this new go play over 4.5. Once again, PrizePicks has the line at 5. ParlayPlay has the line at 5. We found 3 sharp picks. And there's actually an added benefit. I've explained this before, but on Underdog Fantasy, you'll notice if I try to take this player driver in a slip under 2.5, they're going to tell me, hey, you can't bet, whatever, 2 players from the same team. That's what comes up. So, however, what you will notice is you can bet players. So I'm going to lock this in. If you want to lock it in, I mean, great lines don't last forever, so I try to move quickly. If you want to lock this in as well, esports, right? We're finding inefficiencies in the market, taking advantage of it. But what was I trying to say? Minji's line, right, is correlated with Betty's line. These players are playing in the same game. So in esports, I mean, I have a bunch of videos about correlation, crap like that, but it's pretty simple. If you take a player on one team to go over, in this case, Betty, it's actually ideal. It works out really nicely if you can find a player on the other team to go under, in this case, Minji, right? So this is what we're going with. We're going to lock it in. And there we go. Play locked and loaded. Really sharp picks on Underdog Fantasy. So again, those 2 plays are positively correlated. So let me just refresh this. It is so hot outside. I got to take a sip of my drink. But if you take a look here, right, these players are on opposing teams. 1 over, 1 under is positively correlated. Correlation, like, it kind of sounds like a big word, but I mean, it's pretty simple. Like, I'll give you an example. Have any baseball games not started? So I'll give you an example of, like, whatever, correlation. Like, for example, Jordan Montgomery is playing for, whatever, the Cardinals. And these guys, like Nico Horner and Patrick Wisdom, are players on the Cubs who Jordan Montgomery is playing. So if you think about it, right, these plays would also be positively correlated, right? If Jordan Montgomery has a bad game and gives up a lot of runs, then probably the Chicago Cubs players got on base, right? Nico Horner is probably more likely to go over 1.5 bases. So basically, because Underdog Fantasy, right, they're a platform where any 3-pick entry is a 6x payout, right? Like, they don't change your payout based on you selecting over versus under. Your payout is always going to be 6x, right? I take overs, I take unders. It doesn't change my payout. So obviously, if I'm going to take Jordan Montgomery over it wouldn't make sense to pair a bunch of players from the Cubs to go under in bases, because if he gives up runs, that means people got to be getting on base. So that's kind of an added benefit. I mean, it's a little complicated, but again, we have some videos on correlation, whatever, if you want to learn more about it. And it's a pretty simple, strategy that we're discussing. I mean, it really is just finding inefficiencies in the market, right? Following the data. I mean, 99% of sports bettors bet with their gut, bet with their heart, their emotions, whatever. I watch sports, I have an edge. It's like, no, you don't, right? Like, you're never going to create a better model than PrizePicks, which is, a $1 billion company that's invested hundreds of millions of dollars in their ability to set lines. You're not just going to out-model PrizePicks. Unless you have a PhD in computer science and 20 other people who have PhDs, they've invested millions of dollars. They have the best data feeds, tons of engineers. You're not going to create better projections than PrizePicks, right? The way you beat the books is you ruthlessly hunt for these inefficiencies in the market and you take advantage of them. So what we can do is, again, more books you have, the better, right? So JockMKT, there's no lines currently available. JockMKT is a book I use a lot, but there's no bets on it right now. So we locked in a good play on Underdog Fantasy. Again, you just kind of want to be opportunistic. So I just kind of go from, nothing complicated, sportsbook to sportsbook, see where I can find some value. So then we head over to ParlayPlay. ParlayPlay screwing up in some spots. So this is another book. Again, they give you a nice little sign-up bonus when you sign up. I tell all my friends who aren't even big sports bettors, do all these, deposit $100, $200, get 200 for free. You'll make $1,000, and all you have to do is bet through the bonus money, and then you can never place a bet again if you don't want to. But there is no reason, if Hot Streak is legal in your state, they're giving you a free $200 to sign up. It takes 25 seconds to sign up. That's literally why I signed up for the sportsbook. I signed up to get my free $200. And then if there's profitable bets on the platform or good promos, I'll use the sportsbook more. I'm betting to make money. So again, I'm never going to be able to create a better model than Underdog Fantasy, PrizePicks, any of these sportsbooks. This is their full-time job, making models to set lines and take money from bettors. But they all set lines independently. So the way you beat them is, again, you find inefficiencies in the market. So this player, Akagi, his line is 3.5 on ParlayPlay, right? 3.5. Underdog, PrizePicks have his line at 4. That's a no-brainer play to lock in. Again, what kind of sucks about esports compared to baseball, right, is in baseball, literally, you have dozens of sports books. I mean, look at all these different sports books, all with, sophisticated models, moving around lines. You can see right here, all these books moving around their odds. You have tons of data points telling you where a line should be set. So for this under 10, Bet365, their model is saying -110. FanDuel -110. DraftKings has the under, whoops. So DraftKings has the under a little bit favored. They have this at -115. SBK has the under a little bit more favored, than even DraftKings at -116. These are all data points that make it really clear Superbook is screwing up and giving us a profitable play at +105, right? Whereas in esports, you don't really have as many data points, which kind of sucks. But what's awesome about esports is there's so many games and the discrepancies are so big. I mean, sportsbooks literally can't keep their lines in check. It's crazy. You will never see these discrepancies, this level of discrepancies in the NFL or something like that. It's not going to happen. So we got our first play, Akagi. We can see what else do we like out there. So we can go here. We can look at CSGO. So let's go here. So if you look at this Vinny player, right? So I want to take his under, right? And if you take a look right here, you're going to see all the other sports books have his line at 33.5 or 34.5. So we're following market data to make, informed betting decisions. Whatever you want to call it, that's what you're doing. You're using data to your advantage. It kind of sucks. A lot of people love to think they're the smartest person in the room or that, but the truth is it's all about the data. It's all about following these market movements and line movements and taking advantage of discrepancies. I mean, it's a foolproof way to make money. Let's just put it like that. Like sometimes you win when you're betting positive EV, sometimes you lose. But because you're following literally the data, finding discrepancies, you're always going to win long term. And the reason I love sports betting so much is pretty simple. You will never, wow, Facebook stock up 4.4% today. So the reason I love sports betting so much is pretty simple, right? The first reason is your returns are daily. I mean, people always talk about, wow, this hedge fund made 20% in a year, right? Which is a lot of, that's a good return. But if you can get a 2% ROI on your MLB bets, there's 162 games in the regular season. That's a 324% ROI over the course of the season. Or if you can just earn a 1% ROI, just a 1% profit margin. So in sports betting, the reason it's so powerful is when you can get an edge, your returns are daily. If you can even get a 1% ROI, that's 30% a month, since in general, you're betting on games that are within the next, 24 hours. So that's really awesome. And then the second thing is if you go to Fidelity, Robinhood, E-Trade, I say this in every other video, but it's really important. I used to be a trader. Is if you go to any other, brokerage site, Fidelity, Robinhood, all that crap, Charles Schwab, you're going to see the price of Facebook is this. They may have slightly different fees, but you're going to see the price of Facebook is $311.71. There's no discrepancies in the market, right? Whereas, on these sports books, it's like you're getting vastly different prices between sports books. It's crazy. I mean, imagine being a day trader, you go to Fidelity and the price of Rapala stock is 31.5. And then on Underdog, it's 29. On SportsBattle, it's 30. On PrizePicks, it's 31, right? It would be so easy to be a day trader and make money, but the stock market's far too efficient. There's too many smart people in it, which is why sports betting is so lucrative. So next we can go to this Bonga player. And on ParlayPlay, you want to play, so we're not going to be able to play these two players. They're on the same team, Bonga and whoever this dude is, Rapala. So here we go. We got a CFL play. So this looks good, right? Cody Fajardo. Who are you? So this game is July 30th, so a bit away. But we're going to win these first 4 bets within the next 24 hours. We got a game at 3 a.m. Also, I love sports betting. Man, we're betting on a game at 3 a.m., 10:30 a.m., 7 a.m., 7 a.m., and July 30th at 4 p.m. So regardless, on ParlayPlay, you want to play 5-pick entries with insurance. So I'm going to go ahead and lock that in. Boom. And I'd say this Akagi plays the best, right? So here you can see we got a little 5-pick entry. And again, it really matters how many picks you go with on these platforms. So I'll kind of show you why, right? So on Underdog Fantasy, any 3-pick parlay you create, just 3 different picks in a parlay, you're always getting a 6x payout. Whereas on PrizePicks, they kind of rip you off, right? So if we go to PrizePicks, boom, 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 right? They're only giving you a 5x payout. So they're ripping you off with their payout, or maybe not ripping you off, but they're giving you a lot worse, right, than Underdog Fantasy. And that's why you'll notice, and again, we have strategy videos, articles I've done kind of breaking down the math behind Underdog, the math behind PrizePicks. But long story short, that's why you'll notice me placing a lot of 3-pick entries on, Underdog Fantasy. Whereas, if we take a look at PrizePicks, I'm basically always going with these 5-pick entries or 6-pick entries. But anyways, let's kind of go back here. And so we got to play on ParlayPlay, and we can look at PrizePicks. So PrizePicks, any crazy plays we want to lock in. And again, depending on the books you use, you're going to see different bets. This play on Superbook is still available. Looks to be the probably best play out there. I mean, it's crazy, right? They're giving you plus 105. Every other sports book has this minus 110. Pinnacle, sharpest sports book in the world, they have the under favored. So if you think about it, what does it mean, right? The sharpest bookmakers, such as, this is Gambling 101, right? So Bookmaker, a very sharp sports book, right? Them and Pinnacle are the 2 smartest, sharpest sports books. They take the most betting volume. They allow the biggest bet sizes. Sharp bettors bet on them. They're taking bets from all around the world. they both have the under favored, right? They both have the under as the juiced outcome. So they're both telling you, hey, the under is more likely than the over. So imagine you had a coin where heads was more likely than tails, right? So it's kind of like finding a coin weighted in your favor. In the Brewers-Braves game, the under is the weighted outcome, the favorite outcome, a little more favored. It's like getting a coin where heads is a little more likely. But you're also getting plus 105 odds. So we're betting on an outcome. We're risking $100. If your unit size is $100, you're risking $100 to win 105 in profit. You're risking 100 to win 105 in profit. And the under is more likely. It's like flipping a coin that's weighted to show up on heads, and you get $105 if head shows up. And if tail shows up, you only lose $100. That would be a no-brainer deal, right? The coin is weighted to show up on heads, and if it shows up heads, you make more money than if it shows up tails, you lose. So you can think about that, but like that's how you think about sports betting. It's all about finding value in a mathematical way, and it never fails, right? Making money sports betting is, if you're following the data, you always win long term. So like, sure, I have losing streaks, whatever, but I don't really care because I know what my ROI is, and I know I'm always going to win long term. So you can see there's some college football bets, not bad. There's some bets on different sports books. Again, more books you have, the better. So we can go to SportsBattle. Meh, looks like a lot of the value went away. Maybe someone else bet it, or maybe they got employees watching this. But regardless, we can kind of play around with these different sports books. So Boom Fantasy is another sports book I recommend getting. They don't have a ton of value on Boom Fantasy, but they have really good promos. So I've explained that for Sleeper too. I can almost never find good bets on Sleeper to just like bet on, but they run promos every day. So you're going to see they ran a promo on Joe Musgrove. Well, this game, you still have 24 minutes to bet this. So I'll show you right here. I mean, we can kind of pull it up. So if I go to Sleeper Picks, they're running a promo on, I mean, it's basically free money. Joe Musgrove to have over half of a strikeout, 92% off. I mean, it's an absolute no-brainer. It's basically free money. Again, all these books offer promos to compete. And also my refer a friend code is below. It's just my name, Alex. So obviously this is a promo we want to take advantage of. So I paired it with Tanner Bibby under 6.5 strikeouts. And, you know, again, like my refer a friend codes for all these books are below. You will thank me if you have more sports books. More sports books means more profitable betting opportunities. So we can go to Hot Streak. I mean, I try to just like look at all these different books. So kind of seems like, you know, in general, what is out there. So now you can see there's another good play on Superbook. So again, some sports books tend to be stupider than other sports books, as in there's more profitable bets on that book. So, I mean, here it's like Pinnacle has the same odds on the over and the under. So here's an analogy to think about this bet, because I love my analogies. Is Pinnacle the sharpest, smartest sports book in the world? And we're using all data points, right? We're not just looking at one book and saying, oh, this book is the king. We consider all data points, but you can see all sports books have roughly similar odds on this play, like minus 105 to minus 118. So they have the same odds on the over and the under. So basically they're telling you, hey, it's the same odds on the over and the under. So this is 50-50. This game, according to our model, all the bets that have come into the market, right? Sportsbooks are moving around lines due to betting volume, supply and demand. They're saying, hey, it's 50-50 to go over versus under, 50-50, right? But you're getting plus 110. So it's like flipping a coin with your friend, where if it shows up heads, you get $110. If it shows up tails, you owe them $100. That's what plus 110 is. You're risking 100 to win 110 in profit. And this outcome is 50-50 to occur, right? The over is 50%, the under is 50%. So 50% of the time you're down $100. The other 50% of the time you're up $110, right? So obviously this is a no-brainer bet. Kind of sucks because I can't use Superbook right now. Again, different books, different locations. You can see there's some good bets on FanDuel. So again, like some people ask me, do you focus on, you know, specific sports? And the answer is no. Wherever there's good bets, I'm going to bet, right? When I give out plays, If I find value on PrizePicks, I'll give out more plays on PrizePicks. If I find value on ParlayPlay, give out more plays on ParlayPlay. Whatever, right? But it obviously depends on the books and, my location too. Depending on the sports books, legal, available, whatever in your location, you're going to have different plays available. So we can take a look here, kind of see what's out there. Again, lines are always dropping. Injuries are happening. Lines are moving around. Lineups are changing. You can see these plays are still available on Underdog Fantasy if you still wanted to lock them in. ParlayPlay, we already locked in a slip. Boom Fantasy. So maybe I'll call it a day for now, whatever. But hopefully this was helpful. Any questions you have, again, you can hit me up on Twitter. You can email me, alex@ozjam.com. Email's in the description. All my refer a friend codes for these different sports books are in the description. Damn, I wasn't sharing my screen for the last part. But anyways, hopefully this was helpful.